Hey, what's up?
Oh, hi.
Hey, I got to do it. All right.
You did.
Hi. I didn't see you there.
See you there.
Glad you made it.
You may be wondering how I ended up here. Loads of
Pretty
poor
strange.
life choices.
Think about those for a minute.
But we're in South Carolina and it snowed today, so we're all lagging because we don't know how to deal with snow.
I went outside exactly once. Felt like I got flashbanged and immediately retreated inside.
It is bright AF out there. Like it was
Yeah.
middle of the night and I could see the reflection coming in my window.
Yeah. I go outside to smoke last
Right.
night and it's I don't need to turn the porch light on and I can see everything. It was like night
Crystal
vision.
It's very weird. Very, very bizarre. So at least it'll all be gone in the morning, so it's all good.
Will it though? Will it? No,
It's
it
supposed to
won't.
be like
No.
super cold today. It'll all be ice in the morning. Yay.
When I was a child, probably around 10 years old, my mom dated a guy who had family in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
So one Christmas we drove from South Carolina to Pennsylvania.
Damn, that was a serious relationship.
Yeah, I clogged toilets all up and down the state. I used a lot of toilet paper when I was 10-year-old. I was just a big wad every time. But I was very excited. I don't know why that fact was needed to be thrown in there. I was very excited about seeing like snow, like real snow, not sleet, but snow. And we're not beelining there in a day. Like he's got other family along the coast. So there was a few stops. But as we're getting close to Pennsylvania on like the second or third day, I see it snow from like the car we're in. Like I'm watching it like real fluffy, slow falling snow. I'd never seen it before. We get there late and they got this dope house. It's like on this big hill. It's covered in snow. I was very excited that I'd get to play in the snow the next day. It was so cold that the next day it was all just ice. It was just a foot and a half of fucking ice.
Rock
Foot and a
hard.
half?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was
like,
so much snow, in fact, that one of the neighbors, this was kind of cool, had dug tunnels the day before.
Oh, fun.
And the next day it was like these little ice tunnels you could slide around in.
Hey.
What the fuck?
Like
Yeah.
I remember being a little kid in New York and having to walk to school, and the snow was like my mom had to lift me each step because I couldn't the snow
Step
was
over it.
tall. Yeah, like, and it was. I don't think it was. I think it was like 3 because I think it was like I was walking with my mom to take my brother to school. It wasn't just me
Mm.
because I remember being in that little starfish snowsuit, little pointy top, and you can barely move because it's so stiff.
Mm.
And just being like lifted like this for 4 blocks to school and back. Good times.
Uphill, both ways.
I just remember like snow almost taller than me. It was weird. But that's why I didn't believe it was going to snow like this last night. It's like, yeah, no,
Nope.
it snows in South Carolina, but it's not snow. No, this is snow.
Yeah, it was snow.
Yeah. The last time it was about 2018, I think, is the last time we had snow here, and I think before that it had been longer than that.
It's-
So it's very not
It's
common.
once a decade.
Because like I remember it was probably like 90, 91, something like that. We had moved to South Carolina and Jamal was a baby. And a picture of him sitting outside on a table and like it was just covered in snow in South Carolina. And then like not again for maybe 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like each of
Yeah.
my siblings as a baby in pictures in snow. And that's how
Which
far
I'm good
apart.
with. I'm good with that time frame. If I want it in between, I know where to go to find it. I don't care for it.
I do remember that time though, us making snowballs and not being able to play with them right away. So we brought them inside and put them in the freezer, thinking that'll keep them, not realizing that Go back outside. These are death balls of ice.
Might as well just be throwing baseballs at each other, but worse.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was a
God.
one-time mistake.
You get a concussion, and you get a concussion,
Yeah.
and you get bees.
Because nobody believes the first person that gets hit.
No.
So they're like, "Shut up, baby."
Yeah, exactly.
Ice balls have been outlawed by the Geneva Convention. I'm just letting you know.
Lord,
Ow, my kidneys. That's weird.
Jerry's not getting up. Jerry's not getting up. We used to, like, in the wintertime where I grew up around a lot of farms and stuff like that. We used to throw like frozen manure at each other. Horrible thing, but they
That is
like like
In
cow
the winter
biscuits.
time, gross.
Cow biscuits are
Like, you got to do it in the summer when they're dry and crumbly.
hard as a
They've
rock.
been in the
man,
freezer since
wintertime.
the winter.
Oh my god. Oh, farm fun.
Mm. First, you pick the mushrooms out of them. Second, you eat the mushrooms. Then you throw the cow patties at your friends. Fun-filled summer afternoon.
Fun. Didn't cost any money. Free entertainment.
Yeah,
Wonderful. So,
just a touch of botulism.
you know,
Boo-boos.
gotta lick your fingers before you touch your eyes or anything. So.
Hmm.
So when we last left off, what happened? Oh, there was the eyes of Fumiyoshi. You guys fought the mist elemental tentacles to get the last eye, and now you have what you need to become full owners of the tea house.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
It doesn't take much, but you talk to it's Lu Yang. She's the owner of Lewin Laws. She's the local lawyer who came here, and she can help finalize all the paperwork to make the Cerulean Tea House your actual property, which is probably kind of a relief for her to do something as mundane as settling law papers after the several weeks this town has suffered since the start of summer.
See how that could be therapeutic.
No.
Kind of get back to normal.
I'd also mention that the discovering who's going to be the quote unquote leader of the town while the mayor is still missing was kind of put on hold after all the events. So there was things that she might have wanted to do on the side, and I'd mentioned that there were a bunch of little side quests in this book that I didn't think would be fun to do in this format where I run a session for each of these little side quests, but so instead put up some options for your characters to choose to do a little writing, a little player input on the town of Willow Shore and things they've done around town over the next few weeks to kind of help get the town back in order or help people get over a few issues that they're having since the outbreak of monsters and ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And each of you chose some, and some of you wrote your stories a while back and have critiqued them and really made them shine. And some of you, Terrence, is still working on it right now.
Parents.
And yet, Terrence will still have one of the best stories.
Yes, he should go first.
Okay, I'll have to pause and let you guys go, and so I can finish it later.
No, it's fine. I'll go first.
Actually,
You can
I
go
wouldn't
last.
mind. I wouldn't mind doing that actually, because mine can easily be broken up into two parts. But it's not long. It's
you
just
mean-
got two parts.
You mean read some of what you have, pause, and then pass it on to somebody else to read theirs, and then
Yeah,
come
I
back
can-
to yours towards later?
Yeah, I can do that if you
First
like.
and then
but,
last
like,
too. No.
No, I think we should start off with our strongest reader, Kevin. I like to start with
Anybody do a
Kevin.
PowerPoint? I'm gonna miss that. This
Man, there's no
session.
new PowerPoint.
Oh man.
What was he also did one where he pre-recorded the whole thing. He just played it for us, and it had sound effects and everything too. That was nice.
That was nice.
But he's a loser with a real job, so fuck him.
Fucking pays his bills on time. And
Yeah,
shit
what
like
a
that.
fucking dweeb.
I wish I had known that when I first met him. It would have been a different story,
I'd only known that one day you would be fiscally responsible. I never would have become your friend.
It's not just trying to one up us all the time.
Let's see. So yeah, we'll start with let's start with Kevin. Kevin, give us Quinn Song's story for the week.
All right. Quinn Song packed up supplies for himself and his niece and nephew to go on a little vacation. The three kitsune traveled to the old expanse to discover if the land was still viable for expansion as farmland. He was really looking forward to teaching the children the teachings of Daiketsu. The Lady Fox is the deity of agriculture and craftsmen, and she is deserving of our thanks and prayers, he told the children. And over the next week, Quinn planned on teaching the prayers and traditions of his family. Through these rituals, he will ensure Daiketsu will look upon the lands favorably. That was the plan, anyway. Once the group of kitsune arrived in the area, he could tell something was off. Immediately, he and the children took the form of foxes that way to draw less attention if seen. They began doing what foxes often do and poked around until they found what was causing this disturbance. It seems a small group of Jenkins moved into the area. They were currently dancing around what appeared to be a shrine made up of stolen trinkets. A shrine to whichever deity these little fae worship. And they needed to be taught a lesson. Now the question is how? The answer came to Quinn that evening. He would use the tactics of guerrilla warfare. The next morning, he and the children started off. Quinn drew off the Jenkins, and while away, the kids snuck in, stole food, contaminated water supplies, and wrecked the shrine.
Damn.
Once Quinn was lost the Jenkins, he made his way back and rejoined the children, watching the Jenkins as they returned. Once they saw the destructions the kids were able to bring, the Jenkins lost it. Later that day, when the Jenkins went hunting, for some strange reason, they could find no game, not even a squirrel, due to the foxes playing in around the hunting party. The foxes all kept these games up for 2 days, and while angry, the Jenkins had no choice but to leave the region. For the next 4 days, the family kept watch for foxes during the evening, and at daytime began their prayers and lessons on Daiketsu. With no signs of return of the Jenkins, Quinn felt it was safe to return this area for farming, though he would alert old Mitsuke of what had happened here and move on to the temple of Daiketsu to ask for a priest in order to bless the land and ensure no spiritual damage was done. With all this, Quinn felt a sense of accomplishment and a job well done.
All right.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Family bonding.
Hell yeah, a little guerrilla warfare. And
No, I'm going to
Throw
teach
some
these
dead
kids
animals
about
in the
God
well.
and warfare.
You didn't even bring hot dogs. You're the worst camper ever.
Man, they were eating squirrels and stuff. So,
Living off the land.
although
Enjoy
a
these
family
roots
of
and
cute foxes,
tubers.
that seemed to me would draw a lot of attention. For me, it was. I would take notice. But yeah, that was good. Better than mine.
Let's see.
Awesome.
Old Village Expanse. So that was from Old McZuki.
Oh,
Yeah. So I liked it. That's good. We'll give you your point with give you a point with South Bank.
all right.
And I feel like Old McZuki might have a reward for you at some point. Just remind me later. I'm gonna have to look that up. But he's a bit of a dabbler in the booze, so he might have a little special cocktail for Quinn Song to dabble in, and maybe even teach him his special formula on down the line.
Excellent. If he doesn't
Yeah, I
mind
like it.
sharing it with us, yeah. Tea House might be able to do it themselves.
We have teas and hard booze. Our next reader has really just he's really been building up the story. Just he just seems really excited to tell us about his story that he wrote for his halfling Harlow.
Oh.
Definitely hasn't said anything negative about his writing. This your story on Try Weekly was one of my favorites. So I'm hoping it's at least at that level.
Yeah.
You set
no.
a high bar for yourself.
Yeah, this is. I will say this. Well, I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna read it. Let y'all decide what y'all think. All right. So, Harlow, having gotten back from getting the eyes and getting the tea house kind of underway, he returned his attention to his courier business that he had recently started up back before the festival and all of this madness started. His sister Finrana had been kind of running things for him while he played the hero out and about. So she's kind of walking him through the various new customers and business avenues that they've kind of taken on, and kind of getting caught up on the company and the management and all that kind of stuff. So, and his business, it's actually doing quite well. He's actually been quite impressed with Finrana's management of everything, and that's the currency wise is not doing too great, but that was never really the focus of his business. More of skimming goods was kind of the focus on it, after all, profit being a secondary thing. But as they strode along, they're down near the Willow Shore Barracks, and someone grabs Harlow's arm and pulls him into kind of the shadow of one of the buildings. Finrana is kind of shocked and just kind of steps back, but it's just a gravelly voice that says, "Sorry, lad, I need your help. And I know folks have started listening to you, and I've heard your name come across Granny Hughes' lips, which is of no small importance." So Wu Ji, I think I'm saying that right, continued to explain his fear that his business is going to be ruined because Jing Ping, who is heads up the foundry, or not the
Barracks.
The barracks. He's in charge of like the town guard and things like that. He's basically demanding that I produce armor and swords and weaponry for his new recruits and everything, but they're not compensating anything, and I am going to be out of business. Harlow listened quietly. He was actually already aware of this and had kind of been waiting for this moment for him to be approached. And so he just sat there in silence while Wu Ji kind of explained the circumstances and kind of just vented out all the frustrations with it. He said that Harlow said that, obviously my specialty is, helping out people like this in situations and keeping people out of trouble and handling these types of disputes. Now, I'm willing to help you, but I gotta ask, like, who's delivering all your goods to your customers? Harlow already knew the answer to that as well because he had approached Weizhu about it some months back, and he wasn't really interested because his customers came and picked up their goods from him. They needed hinges, they came and got them. They needed farming tools, they came and picked them up. So they talked back and forth a little bit, and he said he basically make him a deal. If I can get G to agree to a more reasonable arrangement, obviously getting you some payment for your services and materials, then you have to agree to use my courier service for 2 months, half the standard rate. And then after that, we can discuss further. Finron, quietly standing by, just kind of interrupted and said, "Oh, you can't do that. That won't even cover our costs." And he said, now, sister. In these trying times, we must all make some sacrifices for the good of Willow Shore and for us all. Finrana frowned, nodded her head, and just looked away, kind of perturbed. Now, Weizhu was saying, at the end of such time, we can discuss whether my services will benefit your business, and we can talk a longer-term agreement. Bear in mind that if I can't persuade Jean, then you've lost nothing. So Weizhu agreed to it, and as soon as Harlow shook his hand, Finrana produced a quill, wrote out a little scroll and a writing block and presented it to Weizhu, and he just said, "Here's the standard contract, mind you, 2 months service at half price as agreed." That done, it was time to talk to Jean, but first he stopped by Granny Hughes and talked to her, kind of went over the deal that he had made with Weizhu, and of course the deal he was going to make with Xing, and got her advice. And that done, pretty much half the battle was won. The conversation with Jean was going to go well anyway, because he had already spoken to him previously about the fact that he was going to have to compensate some, or there would be no armaments produced at all, because there would be no ironworks. And so Jean agreed to set aside some money from his budget from the town and pay for the new armaments at a discount, of course. This did mean lowering the wages of the city guard and recruits, but all must share in sacrifices. And Harlow knew this would be a problem for another day.
You're a real piece of shit, aren't you?
No. Harlow is a capitalist.
So yeah. You'd already solved the problem. You'd already solved the problem, but he worked in some monetary gain for your company.
For his company, as he continues to expand it, he's got more favor with Granny Hugh, and obviously she'll get a cut of it too. And so it'll pan out. And all this looking for the future, because Harlow believes that he's going to have a hand in it, that the Ghost Wall is going to come down, and when it does, he'll be in a prime position to go ahead and keep expanding.
I liked it. It's a fun character.
Coin.
I kept wanting to be like, you and your sister need to roll a performance check, or you should roll a bluff. That's the good thing about this, being able to write the story, is that a natural one on a D20 didn't ruin all of your plans.
Yeah, I was worried about that too. And there's not a lot of, doesn't tell us a lot about the personalities of the two of Weizhu and Ying. So I just kind of had to funnel through that a little bit too.
Well, you had rescued the barracks guy, the guy from the barracks.
Yeah.
So you've met him before, but under turmoil, right?
Right. Little dress.
Let's see if I can bring it up. I didn't know. I almost shared it earlier today, but I was like, well, if you've already written something and described this character, I'll just change their description here. But let's see if I can find. It's the Eternal Blaze Ironworks. It's Yang Wuji. This is what the blacksmith looks like.
Oh shoot!
I'm on the wrong thing. I haven't found it yet.
Oh, look at him!
I'm coming! Damn it! I want to see it.
The Foundry. Sorry.
Good old Foundry. I know. I was like, forgot about the Foundry. I was in RP mode.
Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to have the person who asked me to do it? Yun Mong Un? Yun?
I got
Yeah.
nothing.
You got nothing from what?
Foundry.
Yeah, that's because your computer's slow, probably.
From what? Having Google Docs open?
Okay, now you're in there.
Coming in too.
Terrence, as long as I've known you, you definitely have more windows open than Google Docs.
God, look at that. Look at Chef Frog right there in the middle. Star of the show.
Yeah.
The star of the channel.
Who's gonna come to Nerd Ball? I talked to him. He's gonna come.
Is he?
Yep.
Alright.
He said he's off that day, so he's gonna plan on coming. I need to send him the shit too. Nerd Ball coming up, y'all. I guess about a little bit after this airs, right?
I don't need to see him. Fuck it. Hopefully it'll come on.
I want to see him.
You still
But
haven't
mine-
seen him?
He's not talking about
Yeah.
noob. He's still trying to look at the blacksmith.
I'm still
Yeah,
trying to
that's what
log
I'm
into
trying to
Foundry.
I'm
It says
in.
you're
I
in
just
there, Terrence.
if
Yeah,
I, was
I
waiting
got-
till Terrence was.
I got
mean,
nothing but a
he's-
blank screen.
Oh.
But if
Just
you don't
left
care,
and
I
came
still want
back?
to see the guy I wrote about. The
Did you
guy I'm
not
now
see it,
business partners
Matt?
with. No, because I just logged in, so it didn't pop up. It's just showing
Oh.
the splash screen. Oh, I did not picture him as a fox.
Yeah, I didn't either. Because
No, I was talking about people.
there's a pretty
And I
big
don't feel about ripping him
kitsune.
off. I don't feel bad about ripping him off now because he's not even human. So
Oh, dude. It makes you way worse. It makes you way worse.
Harlan's kind of a scoundrel. A little bit.
Let's see. There's a lot of like here's the lawyer. Oops.
Because from the description, I don't even know what he does, but he's the one who wants us for the flu making.
She looks like a lawyer. Makes me think of that.
Well, there's
It's
Cole.
YUN, the person I'm looking for. Yun.
Wow.
Young Mong, yeah.
Yoon.
Mong.
Yoon.
I just can't remember what business she's
Oh,
with.
Yeah. Wu Zhiyong.
Oh, she?
Oh, there they are.
Yeah, there's a picture of.
Did you write him as a he?
I mean, I didn't super. It's not. Oh, look at her.
Yeah.
Look, isn't she
Cool.
Isn't she sweet?
Yeah, there's a lot of NPC. There's the town itself is around 275 people total.
Damn.
Oh, but I'm here. I'm good. Okay. Finally.
Yeah, here's the Zhang Ping.
Yeah, he's in our player's guide.
Yeah, some of these were.
So, yeah.
I think my favorite is still the bathhouse master from the Happy Kappa.
Yeah.
He was a good one.
Granny Hugh. I like Granny Hugh. That's my favorite one because she's just like, I don't need any of your shit. I ain't taking none of it. Oh.
All right, keep your secrets.
After
Yeah.
I kind of created Harlow and then we got that player's guide and saw her, I was just like, yep, that's who's got Harlow's number. She ain't listening to none of his bullshit. She done heard it all, seen it all, had it all.
Here's the old man that you rescued.
Yeah, that looks like him. That's kind of how I pictured him. Kind of nervous old man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. And it was kind of digging through because we're towards the end of the first book and going to the second one. So I just kind of digging through some of the NPCs we may have missed and if there were any cool ones that stood out. There were loads, and we'll never know. You'll never know.
I'll never tell.
We'll have to play this game again. As soon as we finish this campaign in 4 years, we'll just start it over with new characters and see what happens this time.
I come to your house and just get the first book and just look through it myself.
So go ahead and start working on your stories for that in 5 years. But between now and then, if we could just go ahead and dive into the next story, it's between
Yeah.
Nigella and Riku.
That's right.
I'll
Excelsior.
go ahead.
Okay.
All right. So, this is Nigella's story. I wrote it, but I haven't yet read it. So, here we go. First time. It's an early morning in Willowshore, and Nigella and her father have gathered the young children of the town in her classroom. All right, kids, everyone, crisscross applesauce and eyes on me. Nigella takes her seat at the head of the class as they begin to settle in. Good morning, everyone. Say hello to Professor Priyankara, too. Good morning, Miss Nigella. Good morning, Professor Priyankara. Now, I know it's been a scary time for you all. These first few weeks of summer have been intense. Y'all were supposed to be out there playing and exploring and enjoying your summer break. Instead, while the adults have been fighting and rebuilding and worrying about the supernatural, you kids have been stuck inside and kept out of the way. I bet y'all are all feeling pretty restless, huh? Yes, Miss Nigella. Well, what do we do when we're feeling restless, but we have to keep our seats? We put our arms in the air and we wiggle. Now go on, get your wiggles out. And the class erupts in giggles as tiny arms shoot up in the air and flail around. And after a couple of minutes, all right, we all wiggled out? Yes, Miss Nigella. Great. Now put on your listening ears, kids, because Willowshore needs our help. A small voice rings out from the group. But we can't fight. We're only little. Yeah, I'm scared too. Yeah, me too. All right. Relax now. No one's asking you to fight. You just let us adults handle that. Now, you might have heard that young Manoon is making Fulu talismans to protect our town from the supernatural. Well, she needs more wood to get it done. She needs a lot of it, and she needs it quickly. So I need your help to gather peach wood and bring it to young Manoon. Can I count on y'all to help me? Yes, Miss Nigella. Great. I knew I had brave students. Now grab a bag and a buddy and line up in the front of Professor Priyankara when you're ready. Bags in hand, the group sets out for the peach groves. Nigella leads the way. The ching-ching of her kakara rings out, accenting each step, and her father takes up the rear, axe slung over one shoulder. And as they arrive in the grove, Nigella gets the group's attention. Now, let's go over the plan. My dad, the professor, will be cutting down fresh peach wood and splitting it over here. There's also freshly fallen wood scattered around for y'all to collect. I need you to use the buddy system at all times. Stay where I can see you, and if you fill your bag, help your buddy to fill theirs. And if you and your buddy have filled your bags, find another pair and help them. Most importantly, I need you to remember the 7 principles. They'll keep you safe. If you see something strange, don't touch it or talk to it. Tell one of us instead. Got it? Well, let's get started. And don't forget to have a little fun, kids. Dad, what? I just said they should have a little fun, too. It's implied. So the work begins, and the kids scatter giggling into the grove, shoving wood into their bags and bringing it back to Nigella for inspection once they're full. Professor Priyankara brings down several peach trees, and Nigella passes out the fruit for everyone to snack on as the sun gets higher in the sky. Collection goes quickly after some of the kids learn to distinguish fresh wood from dry and teach the others how to spot the good stuff. It's almost time to head back to town when a small scream rings out from the far end of the grove. Quickly, Nigella scans the group to see who's missing and realizes there's a pair with a Tengu boy and girl that she doesn't see now. She grabs her lantern and kakara and dashes towards the screen. Stay with the kids, she yelled back at her dad. As she drew nearer to the scene, she could hear the familiar taunting laugh of a jinkin. It had driven the small Tengus up a tree and was swiping at them from the ground. Nigella wasted no time. She flashed her personal antithesis at the jinkin, exploiting a weakness that only she knew as she slashed at it with her kakara. Don't worry, kids. I'm here. I got you. Just close your eyes. You don't need to see this. She feinted to the right and then juked to the left as she drove her kakara into the jinkin's belly. Its entrails slipped out with her weapon and it slumped over dead. All right, you two. Come down from there and let's get back to the group. It's time to go back to town now. She helped the frightened children down, and they looked up at her with a newfound sense of awe. You did great. You stayed together and you called out like you were supposed to. Next time, just don't get so far from the group, okay? Yes, Miss Nigella. All right, now run along back to the group. Professor's got some peaches for you if you hurry. Yes, Miss Nigella. The kids grab hands and rush back towards the group to tell them about the excitement they missed. Nigella looked back at the dead Jenkins slumped under the tree and felt a cold shiver of fear as she realized that it could have easily been one of the children slumped there instead. She took a deep breath, cleaned the blood off her kakara, and headed back to the group. Hey kids, she shouted ahead with a bit of forced cheer. You ever heard about the time that... And she just talked and talked the entire way to young Mung-uns, telling the tales of adventure and bravery and happy endings, specifically happy endings against the supernatural.
I like it. Another one where you put children in danger. It seems like a pretty common theme so far. Terrence, can you work that into your story that you're still writing?
Hold on.
I mean, I was trying to make the kids feel like useful to the town and like get them outdoors.
No, I like
entrails really kind of gotcha. Immersed in the story and the events of the day.
That was like the cold realization that, oh yeah, like shit, this is still scary.
Shit,
like,
yeah.
Even though life's got to go on, but shit.
That's right. Scary. Toughen up, you little brats. I mean, that's good.
Maybe bring 1 or 2 more adults instead of just 2
That was good.
with a whole classroom full of kids. She's learning.
So Kevin will end up getting a recipe for alcohol. Harlow will end up getting a little extra coinage from swindling people in their time of need. And Nigella will be the reason y'all learn and can have extra fulus. A type of spiritual protective device that you use in this game. However, some of the townsfolk get a little upset that you've cut down some of the peach trees thing, and then that will actually weaken the supernatural defenses of this town. So you kind of seesaw out between the North Ridge and South Bank on that one. But it'll probably be for your benefit with the fulus being able to be made and purchased more easily.
Mm-hmm.
Was right.
Yeah. Let Harlow know if you need anyone to help with dispersing those, amongst the town folks and things.
For a nominal fee?
No fee. Free of charge. Okay. Yep. Give me 12, I'll disperse 10.
But a favor owed.
A little skimming.
Yeah. You could be you could be a friend of mine.
All right, Terrence.
Time's up.
Pencils down.
Pencil down.
Pause for station identification real quick. And now a word from our sponsors. Ham Wallet.
You can see that just flopping onto the table.
Flopping. Splatters a little bit. It's like what is that juice?
Yeah,
like,
that
are you gonna pack a ham? There's like that ham juice. I don't know what that is. It's like
y'all see, it was Kyle Mooney, former Saturday Night Live guy, and Fred Durst had an interview together. Or it was kind of like a challenge game show interview thing, kind of like Hot Ones, but
okay.
They actually, the second or third Limp Bizkit album was the Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. So the challenge was to actually drink some hot dog flavored water or eat a spicy wing. And they brought out hot dog flavored water in like shakers with martini glasses. And they drank hot dog flavored water together. Why am I talking about this?
Yeah, I don't
why?
know.
But wait. Why wouldn't they choose the spicy wings over?
They did both, but it was the name of his album, and he was like, you've got it. I might as well try it. And he goes, yeah, that's very hot doggy.
It's very foul.
It's because we're talking about Ham Wallet and the ham.
Ham Wallet,
and
that's why.
And ham juice, sweat is. I've never heard it called ham sweat. That's
Egg
actually
sweat.
Worse. That's worse than. That's worse. That's just worse. Egg sweat. That is a weird. Why do they do? I don't understand why they're always damp. Good moist egg.
Terrence, did you explain why things could always be damp? You
Yeah.
look like somebody who's damp often.
What?
You do kind of come across as a damp person.
Me?
Yeah.
Do I seem damp to you?
Well,
It's your personality. It's a personality thing.
Moist, even.
A moist personality.
You're gonna make me give myself cancer putting talc on me now.
Do you need a break? Do you need a break to finish up?
Actually, no. Just give me like 2 sentences here.
2 sentences.
We'll be back right after he writes these 2 sentences. What's up?
Yeah, you don't have to what's up.
We're back.
We're just continuing from a brief break.
Oh, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah, shut up.
Same episode.
I put a cloak on because it's cold.
Put my cloak on.
Put a cloak on because you have a cloak.
I do have a cool cloak, and it's got on the inside here designs because it's a Lord of the Rings cloak. It's got Sting and the Elven brooch.
Oh, cool.
Wow. The
symbol-
wrestler?
The ring?
The ring.
Ugh.
One ring to rule them all.
Wait a minute. Is that the language of Mordor?
No, it's Elven. It's
Which I
Elven.
will not utter
Oh.
here.
I'm just trying to make sure because very few people at home can be able to.
I wish it had
Read-
pockets on the
read
inside
that.
so I could hide the finest weed in all the Shire.
Oh, yeah. That'd be wonderful.
Oh, you must be an old
That's-
Toby.
Oh,
That's pipe weed, right? That's pipe
Yeah.
weed.
clearly your love of the halfling's leaf has slowed your mind.
What, man?
Always cracked me up that Gandalf had zero argument to that. He was like, I do not protest. It
And
was
Gandalf's like,
oh,
that's like your opinion, man.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
like whatever. Like,
Have you ever
whatever.
seen a hobbit on weed, man?
Where to go?
They can eat. If you think a hobby can eat normal, you wait till the ones on weed. They eat so much food. It's great. Terrible exporters. Wonderful. All right.
Well, tensies.
Tensies?
Tensies?
You mean 11sies?
11sies.
11sies. Tensies.
9sies, 10sies, 11sies, 12sies, 1sies, every hour.
I
I was like, what about breakfast bee?
Ah. Well, our last story of the night goes to
Typically me, because I'm never done writing it till the end of the section.
That's all right. It's all right. It just increases our expectations of you.
Don't do that. I
Tradition.
literally crapped this out in 2 hours.
you want to see
Oh.
his creative concentration face. Just look at the last hour of the show.
It's so great.
That's
I
me.
can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the illustrations. That's what I always love about
That's
it.
me trying to
writing
see the
and
screen face,
illustrations.
actually. My eyesight is really diminished.
Mhm.
You want me to start, I guess?
Yeah, I'd like
Well,
like
there's
that.
no one else.
All right, fine. Hold on, let me get a beverage.
He does a lot of pregnant pauses. Just heads
Do a
up.
lot of
What? Oh my God! What are you? What are you drinking and chasing?
whiskey with water.
Whiskey.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
All right,
All right, ready?
let's go.
It was too dark on the edge of town. This time of summer, he should be able to walk all the way to the forest by starlight. Instead, he had to waste lamp oil. It was the mist. The cursed mist had blotted out the night sky. Excuse me. The wheels of his old hand cart wobbled and crunched on the small pebbles of the road leading down to the riverbank, and the numerous bottles and kegs it carried clinked and rattled as he finally brought the cart to a stop near the water's edge. The dim golden light of the lamp was reflected back in a gentle, wavering image on the river's surface. Despite the dark, it was peaceful, something he had been sorely lacking in his life lately. Well, we can't let that stand for too long now, can we? Thought Rico as he picked up a small, flat rock. Rico then flung the rock at the river, skipping it 3 times before it sank. Hey! I know you're there! Get up here so we can talk, he called loudly. No reply came. Riku picked up his lantern and peered out over the water. The river flowed on, undisturbed. Riku sighed. I bought booze, he said softly. The river suddenly erupted with a violent splash, soaking Riku, snuffing out his lantern and knocking him down. He quickly cast a light spell, and in the blue magical glow, he saw that he was surrounded by 5 grinning kappas. You aquatic goons, you didn't have to knock me down, snapped Riku as he righted himself. He has gifts for us, said one. We like the land dwellers' drink, said another. Thank you for the drink, flightless one, said the third. Hold on now, Riku interrupted, smacking a scaly paw away from his cart. 2 of your clan were seen making off with some boats under Mr. Samudra's care. He's very distraught. I came to get them back. Stop sneaking around the back of me. I can see you. The kappa began to laugh. We made a funny joke, yes, said the first one. The land dwellers are helpless on water. Can't fish and swim at the same time, wheezed the second one. The third one started flailing about, pantomiming swimming and biting at invisible fish. The symbol kappa positively gurgled with delight. Hilarious, said Riku, rubbing his eyes in frustration. Humor notwithstanding, I need to get those boats back. The laughter died down as a 4th kappa spoke up. You bought drink to trade? What if we like the joke better than the drink? This one had a shrewd look in his eyes. They understand their joke was causing trouble, and they meant to levy a hefty price to get the boats back. What if we want the drink and fancy land dweller thing, said the 5th one, picking up on the 4th's implication. Now their laughs have turned into knowing chuckles. The drinks are not gifts, said Riku. The kappa stopped making sounds at all. One of them emitted a low growl. No, I came to challenge you to a game. Riku paused for dramatic effect. A drinking game. Their laughter started up again, and he knew he had them. Pause. This is where I would have made the break if I didn't start. Anyway. A short time later, Riku sat across from his opponent. It was kappa number 4, as he expected. The rules were simple. They match each other drink for drink until the first one vomits. The kappa thought this would be the funniest. If Riku won, they would return the boats they hid, and if the kappa won, they would get to keep the rest of the booze, and Riku would bring them food for a week. They began sitting across from one another. They began sitting across from one another with another kappa doing the pouring for fairness, in quotation marks. Riku donned his lucky hat and blessed robes. There was a brief argument as to whether it would give him an unfair advantage, but Riku eventually admitted that they were just holiday gifts from his aunt, and he wanted to get some use out of them. His opponent boasted to have outdrank a tanuki once, and after their 6th drink, Riku began to believe him. 3 drinks after that, Riku held up his hand and declared he must stop to see to his discomfort, which confused the kappa. Are you giving up? Said kappa 4. No, I mean, I need to make water. You're doing magic to create water? Asked kappa 2. No, I mean, I have to release. He has to foul the pond, shouted kappa 1, and initiated a bout of uproarious laughter. Yes, said Riku, rolling his eyes, sharp as ever. His opponent insisted that he should do it within their sight, so he cannot wander off to a distance where they couldn't hear him vomit. Expecting such, Riku produced a bell. I'll take this bell and ring it all the way there and all the way back, so you will know I haven't wandered too far. He tinkles while he tinkles, said kappa 3 in a sudden burst of unexpected wit. During the kappa's bout of laughter, they agreed to this, and Riku began to ring and walk off into the darkness. When he returned, steadily ringing his bell, Riku sat wordlessly down and tapped his glass to resume the contest. 12 drinks later, Riku stood up and started ringing his bell again causing more laughter. He returned and sat across from his bleary-eyed opponent. The other kappa were looking somewhat bleary as well, sneaking drinks while he was off, breaking the seal. Riku banged his cup on the ground and growled like an animal, a different animal than a bird. The kappa began to laugh and cheer. Only 10 drinks were consumed before Riku was off again to the darkness, followed by jeers of being a bird bladder. Upon his return, it looked like Kappa 4 was barely keeping his eyes open, and Riku began the contest anew. Upon their 5th drink, there was a deep rumbling from Kappa 4. It was a spectacular event, like a mobile geyser. All his friends laughed and jeered at his loss as the Kappa lost consciousness. Riku got to his feet and rang his bell once more, disappearing into darkness, before returning shortly thereafter to claim his prize. The Kappa clan jumped in the water, and after a while each one returned with 1 or 2 of the boats. The Kappa smiled and told him good luck getting them back to town. And then they took their friend and disappeared into the river. Riku waited a short while and then rang his bell again. Out of the darkness, his uncle, his aunt, and his oldest cousin came out, each wearing identical lucky hats and blessed robes. Riku smiled and had a drink to celebrate. That's the story.
Nice.
I like it.
Oh, brilliant.
It'd be better if you had like introduced some children and put them in harm's way. But other than that,
Well, the oldest cousin is in his late teens, so
oh, okay, well, close enough.
yeah,
Technically a child. Technically a child.
like 18ish, 19ish.
Is it a male or female? The
I
oldest
don't
cousin?
remember. I didn't. I didn't have time to look it up, and I would have used names.
Yeah, no, I like it. That was fun. It was a fun finish.
Oh, good.
Over the next several weeks in Willow Shore, things slowly start to get not back to normal, but back to a place of safety and security. But the dread of the ghost wall hangs over everyone's mood. And it's finally decided that enough time has passed and that the mayor still hasn't been found, that somebody should be put in charge. Now, I believe Harlow has some input about it being not your two kind of spokespersons for Northridge and South Bank are Granny Hugh and Old McZuki. Those are kind of the figureheads of each side of Willow Shore. But did I hear right at one point that Harlow's thinking about putting his hat in the ring for this leadership role?
Harlow has a kind of different perspective on it that both Old Mansuki and Granny Hugh are needed, and that there should actually be more of a kind of a council, a town council or a village council that would be ruling versus a singular mayoral type person. So Harlow has put his kind of hat in the ring as like to be that third person that go between the coordinator handling the logistics of the city, while Old Man Suki could handle more of the, I believe he was in favor of the farming community type stuff.
Farming and defense of the city that way.
And Granny Hugh was more in line with like the military and enhancing the guards and things like that, which I think both are needed. And that's Harlow's kind of pitch to the town, that both are needed and that we don't need to decide on just one, and that having a go-between, a liaison between the two, and Harlow being the voice of the people between the two differing opinions on their direction.
Does anybody else in the party have an input counter to that or in favor of that?
I am grudgingly in favor of it because I don't think Granny Hugh will take care of the south side of the river folk as well. I'd rather have at least some say than no say on our side of the bank.
Your endorsement is well received, my friend.
I, as local wizard and handyman, put my full support behind you and this option.
Anybody else?
Nigel is all about the sharing of power. She thinks that, like, she agrees definitely with Harlow. Not specifically that it should be these people, but that it should be, it should be a group of people. She likes that idea.
When?
I pretty much agree with what Nigella is saying, I will definitely say that Old Man Mitsuki needs to be involved in the council. And that's
Without
about
a
it.
doubt. Without a doubt. I feel like they both should be.
¿Por qué no los dos?
So
do we have to make rolls? Like, could we have been like trying to influence people to this thing over the course of the weeks? Like, we knew it was coming.
Harlow has been actively doing that as far as with his courier business and favoring, and his business has almost been set up almost without cost to any of the township.
I mean, kind of what Harlow is suggesting is almost what was in play before the mayor vanished. Is the mayor was kind of the go-between between the Northridge and the South Bank, and their two heads were Old Mizuki and Granny Hugh, kind of keeping a balance, of trade over supporting the workers, or the guard getting support over building more farms or whatever. Like, it was always this back and forth. Like, if he gave a little on this side, a little needed to be taken from that side, and to keep both sides happy periodically in like a rotation. So Harlow's kind of putting himself not as a mayor, but as a go-between between these two heads until the mayor can be found, or at least that's how
No,
Well,
let's
in a way,
Yeah.
and Harlow not directly, but perfunctorily, just almost to the point of suggesting or implying that the mayoral position be abolished. And I mean, just between us, I mean, Harlow's position is that if we at some point, I'm sure we're going to try to find the mayor. Hopefully, we can rescue him, but Harlow doesn't want him to come back to a position of power. He wants his position. You're saved. We saved you.
yeah, leave that
Saviors
part out of the speech.
Yeah. Oh, it's not in the speech.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of explaining to y'all behind the scenes, like, this is
Mhm.
this is his intention that this mayor
wants
comes
to-
back.
Harlow wants to prove his leadership ability so that whatever the situation is after this,
Right.
he is the leader.
Yes, and
I
that there's
guess.
equal power between Harlow's position and Granny Hugh and Mitsuki, and that we're governing the city as a council without a mayoral position in play.
Can I roll my knowledge, my Willow Shore lore, to get a feel for what the people of the city are feeling about our ideas?
Sure.
Okay, good, because I don't have any actual social skills with any ranks in them.
No, but if we get a clogged toilet, you're the first one to call. Or if we need to cast out a spirit or something like that. So,
Riku listens. That's what he does.
Yeah,
doesn't judge.
I mean, even the DC on that would be easy. The cursed heroes, the four of you, have been pinnacle in like saving the town, rescuing people from the lumberyard, and now returning boats and gathering peach wood, discovering new lands. Like, you've been very active over these last few weeks, and even at the beginning of it, at the very beginning of all this, you were put on kind of a pedestal. You were the forefront of a lot of people's attention because you were the kidnappees for the Festival of Ghosts to start this whole thing off. And since then, you've kind of stayed in the forefront thoughts of people, and in a good way. You've helped out a lot. So your words bear a lot of weight. On a mechanical side of things, Harlow spent his once per book ability to increase the attitude of Granny Hugh towards him, which opened up that idea of her sharing power, otherwise wouldn't have been there. She's kind of a shrewd businesswoman and a hoarder of whatever power she's gathered in this town. Not that she's an evil woman, but she's definitely
She likes influence, and she ain't taking none of your shit.
yeah. She's shrewd, to say the least.
She's used to having power and wielding it, basically.
You get the idea that the mayor had become somewhat of a pushover for her. But
Well, that's a perfect because Harlow's a pushover for her.
Absolutely.
She'll love the idea.
Mm-hmm.
because he's tiny and easy to push over, literally.
And we'll get the bulk of the blame should all this go wrong.
Yeah. But the town would be behind this, and if
Okay.
it's just the rest of the
But
group,
would Harlow's I'm going to say opponents for now, but would the other two people who want to be mayor straight up agree to it? That's the question.
Well, Mitsuki doesn't really want to be mayor. He was happy with the way things were. He's hoping to get things back to normal. He just wants to make sure that the only reason he was putting himself out there first is because he wanted to make sure that the people were fed, that the workers were taken care of. Where Granny Hugh saw this more as an opportunity to take power. So,
So Harlow's just behind the scenes in his various meetings that I've mentioned in the last, I don't know, a few sessions that we've had, has talked to her about this and about basically this would remove the risk of her. There's a risk. Old man Suki has a lot of popularity, and there's a lot of people that depend on him and respect him, and there's a chance she would lose, and this would remove that and maintain her power. And I'm her guy, right? So.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Better be my guy.
So, without much fanfare style ceremony, but just the town ready for some more stability, Harlow is put into place as a temporary mayor with
acting Mayor Harlow.
Acting Mayor Harlow. with both Old Mitsuki and
then I'll accept.
With both Old Mitsuki and Granny Hugh both appearing to be at his side and maintaining their titles and everything as far as what was happening before this Wall of Ghosts situation began.
I dutifully clap, though I have my trepidations.
Yes.
In the midst of all this, you now find yourself the owners and proprietors of the Cerulean Tea House. However, it was an abandoned building before it was taken over by Moduki and turned into a hedonistic nightmare. While most of the blood and gore has been cleaned up, the building itself is still in dire need of TLC.
Where can we get a lot of free labor to help us? That's right. I have a large family. I'll be back.
And
some of them don't have jobs.
The rest of the summer moves right on along with growing concern for the Wall of Ghosts. There's research available. You have the notes from the Zandu, the priest of the prayers. There might be some time to follow leads and figure out more about that. You've got the sinking suspicion that this creature Kungupti might be more involved in this curse than and needs some research done. Riku, for you, there's the occasional whisper of another being within your head.
I try to not let on in public. But as far as like the research, is that stuff that's going to take a religious scholar, or will someone of an arcane nature or local knowledge help out? Or
there's a few people in town that you'll be able to take the papers to do research with. Most of them are currently busy rebuilding their homes or getting things back in order. To sit down and look over notes isn't really on the forefront. You get the idea that you can go see the Great Willow. They might have some help, but again, that would require time, and different rituals and ceremonies possibly to earn favor for that.
Mm-hmm. I also keep my ear to the ground for that merchant fellow we helped out, whether he's disappeared or still around.
He goes without being seen for several weeks and would periodically show up from time to time, a little drunk, a little tipsy, but with things. Anytime you kind of grill him on where he's been or where he's going, he's very vague and confused and obviously drunk. There's even been a few attempts to follow him out of town, but always something comes up. He vanishes around a curve or, just...
He's the Phantom Merchant.
He's the Phantom. He's just a mysterious merchant with a raven companion.
I'm that raven companion. We're friends. He can tell me.
Yeah.
And just to kind of go back a little bit, whenever we defeated that creature and rescued Wuji's son,
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have any effect on the wall, right? The wall of spirits pretty much was not really phased by what we did.
No, just those
change to it.
Those creatures came out of it after the ritual ended, wasn't completed, but the wall of ghosts didn't change at all. No.
So now that changed. Okay.
Is there anything that I can roll a recall knowledge on that could help us right now?
With
anything.
I'm with her. Roll a dice and end this with a natural 20.
I don't recall. Let me roll a dice.
Something right now.
Knowledge badger. What does that term mean?
Well, I'm gonna use my seasonal boon before the season ends.
What's your seasonal boon?
My seasonal boon is
we have seasonal
the
boon?
trigger is you're about to roll any check to recall knowledge. The effect, you have a flash of insight as you recall an old parable, obscure legend, or applicable tale to the topic at hand. This recall knowledge check loses its secret trait. Increase the result of your check to recall knowledge by 1 degree of success.
Well, what do you want to use it on? I just need you to be more specific than, can I just roll this for anything? You can, but you need to specifically tell me what that anything is.
See, that's what I'm like, do we, I don't know.
This is your last chance to use it for the season.
The wall is like the most like mysterious and thing that we know the least about.
Okay.
Where do you see these seasonal boons? Do I have one of these?
At the bottom of your at the bottom of your actions tab.
Oh.
I mean, it was also in.
You might not have taken it as a background, right?
It's part of your background.
You have to take a background from this
book.
Oh, okay.
It's a tinker.
Adventure.
Okay, I didn't take that back. Okay.
Yeah, you might not have one. That's where I had my thing with Granny Hugh. That was like a book-long thing.
So yeah, I'm gonna roll on the wall, and I'm gonna use my new feat that allows me to roll esoteric lore for any topic at a -2.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna get some secrets right now. We're gonna get some secrets.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, no. I don't have to do that. I can just do that. Perfect.
$24.
Mm-hmm.
And you rolled it in regards to
stuff about the wall, the ghost wall.
Okay.
The ghost wall.
Information.
Ghost wall.
Yeah.
And
Let's say you're teaching.
Would that be a success?
Just say you're teaching your students one day, and something about your lesson tickles the back of your mind, and it's kind of stuck there for a while. And it's that night it's the name Kungupti that comes up in relation to the ghost wall. And you feel like somewhere in this town you had read a small story, like a quick story about it was a monk. It was some kind of monk. There used to be a monastery close to here. There was a monk. Did he battle a creature? you've heard the name before, maybe from some ancient text, some ancient lore, some story that might not be based in any actual fact, but that thought dwells with you about a monastery that's close. And it's that thought that sticks with you for a while as the summer rolls to an end and the leaves begin to change.
Well, can I do something?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have two main aims during the summer. If you recall from a few sessions back, God knows how long ago it was actually in real time, my character was very concerned about making sure there was enough food for once the weather changed. And I am actually going to take it upon myself to help old Mitsuki and people to come up with schedules, rotas, make sure everybody is not overworked, but works diligently to stock their larders for the coming fall, especially as the summer wears on and there's no sign of this wall disappearing. In my spare time, of which there is little, I want to innovate. I want Riku to try to make a device that can create potions faster, something that could use a boiler to create steam, to use to say force water at a very rapid pace through reagents and things like that, and maybe froth milk.
You're trying to make an espresso machine? No longer a tea house, it's a coffee house.
Well, chai is chai, right?
Oh my god! You're gonna have fucking all the hipsters in Willow Shore. You just like gathered them.
I want to try to innovate for magical progress, but end up creating, a cappuccino maker.
Mm.
I'm gonna also create the beanie, slouchy beanie.
It's a cappuccino. It's a cappuccino. Oh, sorry.
I will roll the craft check to do it if you will.
Do it. Roll it.
No, you're not the GM.
Oh,
Fucking roll it.
Practicing
okay.
for Nerdball. Practicing.
Fine. Anachronistic technology, go! Oh!
They said
No.
All right, traditional tea it is. Okay, just checking.
It's a great idea, but you can't figure out how to make it work. So as the summer that never was ends, when we come back, we'll start book 2 of Season of Ghosts called Let the Leaves Fall.
Fuck yeah.
And as
Let the
we fade out from this
Do we
book.
get a level for finishing the book?
No, you got a level as you finished the combat last time. Shut up. You haven't done anything since you leveled.
Kevin,
What are you talking about? I wrote a great story.
It was a great story.
It was a good story.
It was a good story. Pulitzer, right?
Don't I get a speed bonus for the story? Come on.
No. You do not get a bonus for procrastination.
That wasn't procrastination. That was thoughtlessness. It's different.
Yeah. No, but seriously. I mean, you invented cappuccino, so that's
well, on paper. I'll make it work next season.
He failed to invent a cappuccino. Here's the landing page for the next book as we start Let the Leaves Fall, as we fade out. You see a group of people who are gathered at a tea house that's still under repair. And from the woods across the way, we just see 2 glowing yellow eyes.
Pardon our mess.
See you next week.
Bye.
All right. I like that. I like that ending to our first season. It's great.